Jujutsu Kaisen is getting canceled. And no, I'm not talking about getting canceled like, the Black Clover or the Bleach anime getting canceled. I'm talking about getting canceled like culturally canceled. You know what I mean? Like some celebrity got canceled because they said the wrong thing or did the wrong thing. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, we're going to have to get into some spoilers territory here, right? I'm talking about chapter 255 spoilers, right? Now, of course, everything that I'm talking about in this video is allegedly, right? Like allegedly. In case you don't know, the leaks came out allegedly, and there seems to be some sort of stuff going on between Miguel and Gojo. And Gojo right now is being labeled, a racist because of the stuff that he said about Miguel. Now, of course, if you've been keeping up with the Jujutsu Kaisen manga, you already know Sukuna is taking names left and right. I mean, he's just bodying everybody. And then, long and behold, comes Miguel to save the day. And we start seeing flashbacks, allegedly, and what happened in the spoilers, allegedly, is that essentially Gojo told Miguel that, the reason why he went so hard on him when they were fighting back in, in the movie and all that good stuff is because Miguel has, more bone structure, muscle structure, right? Because of the color of his skin. And you can already tell that the internet is flying with this. They're going with this. Is GG well played, right? Now, of course, I'm being a little sarcastic here. Of course, Jujutsu Kaisen is not being canceled. They couldn't cancel it if they tried. I mean, we know there's a lot of mangas out there with a lot of controversy. I mean, the biggest one, of course, Rurouni Kenshin, with the author is straight up just, he's a child predator pretty much, right? And, that manga and anime is still ongoing, right? I definitely do feel like people are kind of memeing this whole Gojo thing a little bit more than what it needs to be, right? Now, of course, what Gojo said and all that stuff, we need to wait for the official translation because everything here, of course, is allegedly, right? But once we get the actual translation, we're probably going to get a clearer picture. But even, if Gojo said what he did say, right, I definitely do feel like there's like a little cultural differences between what's, happens in Japan and like what's happening here, right? Like some people, they can be a little racist without actually knowing that they're being a little racist. You know what I mean? And that's what's happening here, I think, right? Because definitely that comment, especially if you're like, in the United States or somewhere like that, it makes you raise an eyebrow when you read that, right? Allegedly, right? Because, the chapter is not officially out. So all of this is just, make-believe, right? Anyways, I definitely can't wait to see the actual chapter come out because I can't wait to see, what the actual translation is. But the way I look at it is Gege Akutami, whenever he was writing this, he probably thought it was going to be maybe, some just a comment, right? He probably didn't think too deep into it, right? And it could be because he doesn't know any better, right? And, look at Horikoshi, right, with My Hero Academia. We all know there was a big controversy whenever he released that cover of Invisible Girl, and that was pretty crazy. I mean, at least out here in the US, a lot of people were reacting to that cover because let's be honest, it was a little predatory, right? Especially since Invisible Girl, I mean, how old is she? Like 15, 16, something like that in My Hero Academia. And the way that she was drawn is a little bit messed up, right? But it's one of those things. I don't know if that specific cover was actually controversial over there in Japan, but I know every now and then we get some news in Japan that's a little, it makes you kind of like wonder, is this kind of stuff more acceptable over there than it is here in the US? Because I know here in the US everybody went absolutely crazy, and if the people were defending that, it raised some eyebrows, right? But yeah, I feel like that's definitely a little cultural misalignment that we got going on here because remember, right, when mangakas over there in Japan, they're writing their own story. Sure, probably now where, anime and manga has gotten such a big boost in popularity in other countries, they probably in some way probably taking into account thinking, culturally appropriate stuff for different cultures and stuff like that. And maybe it's one of these things that just kind of slipped through, right? But before, 20 years ago, probably some of this stuff, nobody would have cared about it, right? I mean, just look at Dragon Ball with Mr. Popo. Back then, I don't remember anybody making a big deal out of that, but now in 2023, 2024, a lot of people were calling out Akira Toriyama because of the way that he drew Mr. Popo and all the insinuations that could bring to people of color and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely one of those things that maybe it just, it wasn't, I wouldn't say fact-checked, but, it probably wasn't vetted out as good, especially to see how other countries and other cultures were going to react to it. All in all, JJK, still the greatest of all time. I cannot wait to read the other chapter. I don't know if some people are actually going to quit reading JJK because of this. Probably. I mean, it's their opinion, right? They're allowed to do that. But I feel like this is one of those things where it's just going to go and nobody's really going to talk about it for too long. But I wanted to make a video because I have seen a lot of videos talking about this. Some people are mad. Some people are not. Some people are indifferent. Me, I just kind of look at it as, hey, the cultural misalignment right there, it hit the mark in a sensitive spot, and it's GG, well played, right? But me, I'm still going to read. I still love Jujutsu Kaisen. People make mistakes. What are you going to do, right? But, of course, all of this is allegedly, right? We got to wait for the full translation to actually see what was said and, go from there, right? Maybe it's even worse than what we got, right? Allegedly, because, it's not out yet. Anyways, let me know what you think, like always. Have a great day, and I will see you on the next episode. Peace out.